So this is the final review of Hawkeye for this series. Is there another series? I've got no idea.
I don't think so. I think a lot of these are meant to be kind of like one
One-offs.
and dones.
Yeah. Sorry, the cat walking towards us. New cat. So that was episode 6. Title of which is completely. So this is Christmas. I think it was called.
Yes.
Yeah. And a good, fun, wrapped up episode, largely. Obviously, spoilers will be forthcoming, so look away now and all of that stuff. But I thought this was fun. This whole series has been lots of fun. I think it's sort of paced out nicely. It's been very well done. It's filled in. Hello. It's filled in a few gaps from existing, so it's rounded off Clint's story that sort of began really with Avengers Assemble, and there were just nice nods and nice touches. I don't think for 1 minute we've seen the last of Kingpin. And they did the whole they faked him out several times. Do you know what I mean? He got shot, he got run over, he got up. He got shot with an arrow, he broke it off. He then got blown up by lots of things, and the body vanished. And then...
Well, I say they weren't even fake outs. They're just consistent with his general power set and...
Yeah, but I'm thinking there'll be an awful lot of, your MCU viewers won't know necessarily who he is unless they watched the Netflix shows. He won't be familiar to an awful lot of people, like a lot of people I know, and work with and whatever.
Hi, Becca.
Becca's slightly more. I was thinking more like Dean, Mikey. They really only know the movies and the TV shows as set out in full on MCU. So yeah, it's as you rightly said at the time, the gun went off, but we didn't see a body. So
classic in comic books.
Means nothing. Means nothing unless you physically see their brains splattered across a wall.
And to be fair, even then, looking at you, Jean Grey, and the 1,500 times that you've actually died and we've seen a body in the comics, and yet they still bring you back.
Well, to be fair to Jean, she's got incredibly cosmic powers and forces behind her, so maybe that's a little something to do with that. I don't know. It's about Chewbacca show, by the way. Yeah. And
that's Chewbacca, but
it could be. So yes, it's weird because although we've been introduced to Echo, I don't feel there's an obvious setup for what her show is. I mean, obviously you've got the whole thing with her father, but she wrapped that up a little bit, dealing with the bodyguard dude.
Yes.
Oh, why I'm suddenly yawning like a dick constantly. So I don't. It's, sometimes you see the obvious launch and springboard for whatever that character's next story. Sorry, I sit back so I can actually see you. Next story or whatever it's going to be. I didn't feel I had that. Perhaps there's something really obvious I've missed.
Or it could be, given, I think, a lot of what the rap episode was about, clearing the slate.
Yeah.
That could thematically be quite appropriate. That's the point. She's
turned over a new leaf.
Literally. And now we've got 2 more cats that have decided to join us.
They could be fighting and hissing at any moment. Just saying that now. If the camera suddenly goes, whir, it's because a cat's leapt at the tripod. So yes, that was nice. I think you have got a nice setup for Kate to take over as Hawkeye. Clint to largely retire / become some sort of weird consultant role.
I believe technical term is mentor.
Yeah, because he can obviously make trick arrows, and he appeared to have just another little bottle of pin particles kicking around for no reason. Unless he went back and got... No, because once you've used them, so surely... Anyway.
He obviously keeps spares.
He keeps spares.
And he did make a reference to, I probably need to ask Scott what happens next when he uses them.
Yeah.
So he's clearly, using his contact.
That van's gone to Hogwarts.
It's gone somewhere. It's not Hogwarts.
I can't remember the American wizardry school. Makusa is their like mystery magic version. There is an American school of witchcraft and wizardry. Never mind, doesn't matter. But yes, yes. So it was just a lot of fun, and then it was fairly obvious. I think more or less from the get go, Clint was arriving home Christmas morning, and not a second earlier.
Well, obviously,
because
because he promised.
Yeah. I did wonder. I think I said to you about it.
Will you stop?
I can't. I don't know why.
Now he's fucking
Yeah. Job done. But was he? Were they going to kill Clint off? But I think you were quite rightly saying you couldn't have it him or Natasha in the film and then kill him off anyway.
Yeah, because
that kind of.
And I think it was absolutely because it would do a disservice to the Zach Christ play that Natasha did in the movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice tie-up for Yelena as well.
Who was an absolute delight.
Oh, she'll be back
as well.
She'll be back. Florence Pugh's awesome. She'll be back in something. I mean, maybe she'll be an Echo.
Possibly. Or she'll be, whatever the next project is with the new Kate Bishop Hawkeye. Because, that whole scene with them, kind of like obviously last week's episode, the kind of chemistry and banter between sort of Florence and, I forget who actually plays Kate Bishop.
Hayley Steinfeld.
Thank you. Between her and Hayley it's a joy to watch on television. And actually it's very reminiscent for me of the ease that Tom Hiddleston and Chris Hemsworth have as obviously Loki.
Yeah.
You can absolutely see them as bickering brothers.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the vibe I got from this. Is that it's kind of like Yelena's almost acting like the big sister to Kate Bishop.
Yeah. In
the same way that I think in a different world, Natasha probably... Actually, no, to be fair, Natasha probably was when they were like, not separated.
Yeah.
But it's that Natasha, Yelena, Kate kind of dynamic going on.
Yeah.
But absolute joy. And again, genuinely funny writing as well.
Yeah, well, that scene where the lift...
Yes.
That's fun. That's the sort of thing I'd do.
Plus, just the whole sort of like the costume reveal.
Yeah, did you plan that?
But again, that weirdly, that was quite a very nice nod to the whole thing in Black Widow, with basically Yelena taking the piss out of Natasha for the superhero landing.
Yeah.
And then she does it, and she's like,
and then the chase through the building.
Yes.
Which I thought was very cleverly shot, because you got very not obvious but definite cuts as to where the scene changes were, but it flowed. It was really nicely done. And then of course the mid-credits scene.
Wow.
I really want to see the full musical. I do. I think it looks amazing.
It looks shit.
It looks amazing.
It looks shit.
So, I think I've been in similar musicals many years ago. Slightly less Avengers in what I was in. It was West Side Story. But similar set though. Now I think of it.
Well, streets of New York. And all
that. Yeah. We had like the staircases and like a bridge that flew in, and the staircases moved around and stuff. Anyway, so yeah, I just thought, what, especially for 2 days before Christmas or whatever we are, 2 days, 3 days, however many days, just that nice little, absolute, proper cheesy moment to end the whole thing off. That was perfection for me. Absolutely loved it. So yeah, this has been an absolute hoot. And then next Wednesday we start the Book of Boba Fett, which I'm very excited about. I'm just hoping it doesn't rely too much on stuff we already know and brings a bit of world building and new shit in.
I think, given what they've done with the I know this is the Hawkeye review, but given what they've done with Mandalorian, and given it is still Favreau and Filoni,
yeah, I think so.
Have faith. because they have not steered us wrong with Mandalorian.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's going to be shit. I'm just saying I would like to see new stuff. I don't want to keep going back to, oh, look, suddenly the Millennium Falcon turns up. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
Well, they didn't really do much like Mandalorian.
No, and they didn't. That's absolutely right. Even though I do remember saying, don't be Luke, don't be Luke, don't be Luke, don't be Luke. Oh, it's an X-Wing. Oh, God, it is actually Luke. Okay, this is actually quite cool.
Yeah. And it was obviously...
And then R2 turned up and I just cried.
Thing is, it had to be Luke, because he was pretty much the only... Yeah, I was going to say practicing Jedi, like practicing Catholic. But not that far off, given, sort of Jedi and Sith is, kind of religious, philosophical, spiritual. But, yeah, it had to be him.
Yeah, it's just I didn't want it to be. That's all. Well, now you've got to retrofit Grogu back into bloody The Force Awakens or something, haven't you?
No.
Where is he?
He went off and did his own thing.
See, it's complicated. Complicated.